Sunday Showcase, made possible by a public service grant from the National Endowment for the Arts and Bristol Myers Company in association with its divisions.
Yeah. All rise, open your eyes, no need to explain. I got a homie from the east and I'ma tell you his name. Never hang around lames, that's a part of his game. And if you show deep respect, he'll show you the same. Jeff undercard boxing, shook the world when he came. A lot of cats is playing, but his hands are insane. You can get steamrolled if you stand in the way. He a yardie from Flatbush, you cowards his cat puss. We used to feud like Bishop and Q, but he'll fuck you up quick if I give him the cue. From the city of Midwood, the south central part of New York, next to Bensonhurst and Borough Park. If it's a problem, don't even say shit. Just face this when you come across the Bay Bridge. No tolerance for BS or fake kids. Your blood clot crying. Just stop trying. Is Jeff Undercard prepared for the assignment? He bringing a appliance so cowards can't fight it. He might yoke you up if he feels slighted. He's spreading out toxins. It's undercard boxing. Yeah. Mad love and respect to my brother, man. From the motherland, word him up.
What's going on, fight fans? This shit got undercard in boxing. Ooh, that medal look hot. She got undercard in boxing. It's a big fight week in boxing. You have the Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. That will be taking place in Las Vegas, September 13th in Allegiant Stadium. Before we jump into the headline title, just wanted to discuss some of the fights of last week. The Zone had a card with the headline being Eduardo Nunez versus Christopher Diaz for the IBF welter world super featherweight title, which is held at 130 pounds. We can talk about other fighters on the card as well. Pedro Guaves versus Alexi Molina. It was a good, solid fight. I'm talking about Pedro versus Alexi. Guy looked like once he got hit a couple of times, he didn't want to be there anymore. I'm not going to say he quit, but found the best way to exit stage left and leave with, his pride intact. Pedro Guaves put on a solid fight. Who won that fight? Yeah, no, that was I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the fight before that one. Pedro Guares versus Alexi Molina, a 10-round fight, was a lot of action back and forth, a lot of combination punches, a lot of throwing with mean intentions. And although I think the fight went a solid 10 round, I think, yeah, man, well, I feel like I can't remember that fight. Oh, let me check. Pedro Alexis Molina. I feel like I saw the fight and I can't remember what happened. Did someone get stopped in that fight? It ended in a draw. Wow. Okay. Yeah. In and out that whole fight. But it was a good, solid fight. A lot of punches were thrown. Pedro was like the veteran, the older statesman. Wanted to see what kind of life he still had left inside of him. Wanted to see what he had against an up-and-coming contender. And he showed lots of grit, showed lots of heart, fought tooth and nail. Got his mouthpiece knocked out a few times, but still stood in the pocket and still kept fighting. It was a really, really interesting fight. Then you had the Nunez versus Diaz, which to me started out as like a very technical fight. A lot of combination punching, body, head, throwing 1, 2, or 3 combinations at a time, being very slick, being in and out. And then it just kind of bubbled and boiled into this absolute like brawl. Like these guys were, I wouldn't say headhunting, but they were throwing punches with reckless abandonment and wanting to get that guy up out of there. And no one's jaw or body failed them over that 12-round fight. Scoring the fight was very difficult because as one guy would get off a 3-punch combination, another guy would get off another 3-round combination, and it was very back and forth. And even when they were trying to punch in between each other's punches, they still would end up slugging and hitting one another within that time, which led to a lot of ooh and ah moments, and really, it was really action-packed. Like the people, for him to have that homecoming fight, to fight a guy who has been at world level, fought for a championship and lost, came up short once again in Diaz. This was a solid fight for Nunez, a guy who I think competes very well at 130 pounds against the other champions. I think you got O'Shaquie Foster, you have Lamont Roach if he does come back, and you have Navarrete, who stepped into the ring at the end of the fight and asked for an all-Mexican unification, which that's a solid fight. But I thought that Eddie Hearn, who is the promoter of Nunez and Ray Savage, was going to put those two in a collision course so that way those two guys can fight. But whatever is good for business. Boxing is in a good place. Fights coming up, fights already scheduled, fights coming up this weekend. I think you're starting to get that feel back around boxing and what is to come, who is to come, the specific fighters and what, their skill sets being displayed on that grand level. I think this makes for great theater. Canelo versus Bud, which is a fight that no one asked for, but a fight that I think it has intrigued the boxing public. It has intrigued casual fans, celebrities, because of the dynamic. Bud, a smaller fighter, starting at 100 and I think he was at 135 and went all the way up to 154, now making the leap at an older age to 168 pounds to fight the undisputed Canelo Alvarez, who has been reigning at 168 for, I gotta say, 4 or 5 years now. Like while Bud was moving up in weight and fighting, I think Canelo has steadily been at 168 and defended his belt, fought the upcoming contenders. Not all of them, but he's fought enough contenders to keep his belts, keep his status, and to be recognized as one of the best at that weight class. I think you also have to put into play the guys he fought to become undisputed, because that has to be taken into preference. If you're not ready yet, I got you, bro. You're still on mute, but let me know when you're ready. I think you have to take into account Canelo's run at 168, who he's fought, who he has defended his belt against. The guy, whether you care for him or don't care for him, Canelo will go down as a Hall of Famer, one for becoming an undisputed champion at 168 and in the fashion that he did it, because I think he accomplished that feat in 1 or 2 years. I can't specifically remember how he went about his run, but he beat Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders. I can't remember the other guys. We can check his box rec. That's what we got box rec for.
I got you right now, bro. I got you right now.
Say less, say less.
Got you right now. So with Canelo, let me actually get on camera. Hold on, put my headset in.
Take your time. Salute to everyone popping up. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And you feel free to come into the chat and share your thoughts, share your comments. We're here for it.
All right, am I tapped in? You can hear me?
All right, we can hear you. We can hear you. Oh,
All
salute
right,
for
dope.
National Boxing. Salute for now. How you doing? Great piece on Muhammad Ali. Loved it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again. Salute. Yeah, go ahead, bro. We were just talking about Canelo's run first for his first undisputed run at 168, and you know we have to give him credit for that. How he's gone about his career once becoming undisputed is debatable, but he is a Hall of Famer who has put in, the work to solidify himself to where he wants to be. So I think it's
so Canelo had. Yeah, you about to call it. You got Yildirim, you got Yildirim. I think Smith. Oh, Billy Joe Smith. He also did and Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
And that to me, that was a phenomenal run. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm actually looking at the live too, so I can have all the screens up. But yeah, to me that was a phenomenal run, bro. And that was one of the most legit runs I think for undisputed, besides Jermall Charlo's.
Right, fighting all the guys who had belts, meeting them where they are, and kind of take unify and get 3 belts all at once. My little shout out Bud Crawford.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that even with that being said, the difference, I think Bud's run at 140 it doesn't equate, but it's the closest to Canelo, and I would say like a Jermall Charlo, because Bud had to go through a few people. You see where I'm coming from? But the competition wasn't as deep as Canelo's. Just talking about undisputed.
Yeah. What happens to these guys after you beat them? It says something about who they are as a fighter. Like if 100%. You beat them, you're great. I get that. You're better than them. But if they themselves don't become anything after that, how great was that win? Julius Ndongo, Hank Lundy. Mm-hmm. We're really, when you start to deep dive into who these challengers were they belt holders or were they champions? Did you get the belt from a guy who just kind of held the belt and he beat another guy of his level, and then now all of a sudden he's great?
It's tough, but you know what it is? It's also the way in which Crawford dealt with these folks and the range of skills that he showed. I think that's why people put Crawford on such a high level. And I think he is a high-level fighter. Some of the things he does, you can't teach. But once again, let's not forget, Canelo got mad skills, bro. And people have been putting up like Triple G highlights. I don't know if they're putting it up to show Canelo's greatness or to show his flaws, but every time I watch those Triple G fights, regardless of who you thought won, those are maybe the first two. Some of the best boxing I ever seen, bro.
Yeah.
And nobody got knocked down. 2 of the hardest punchers, and nobody got knocked down.
Yeah, you saw a skill set there. And it's funny, I think the time in which he fought Triple G and how he approached each fight shows where he was mentally as well. Like, first fight, I'm willing to trade with this guy. I'm willing to go toe-to-toe to show I'm the better person in this fight. The second, I'm going to be a little bit more skillful, a little bit more tactical. I don't want my chin to be checked as many times as this guy's going to hit me, so I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. The third fight was a money grab. That was a sparring match. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, the third fight, y'all was just there touching gloves. I was just like, yo, does anyone want to win this fight? Or that's my opinion on the third fight. But 1 and 2, whatever out for
1
blood.
and 2. 1 and 2 out for blood. 1 and 2 reminded me of what we just saw this weekend with with Sugar Nunez, Nunez and Diaz.
I was just
Christopher Diaz. Yeah, that was a good fight. But yeah, 1 and 2 were fantastic. 3, like you said, I just think people say Canelo purposely waited him out. I don't think so. I just think Canelo got through and had more to accomplish, and maybe he knew how fresh he was riding off those Triple G fights. So he was like, I feel good. I just did what I did with Triple G. I feel like I can take on anyone. Let me run through while I feel this way, and then revisit the Triple G fight and let him run through it. Just so happened, unfortunately, Triple G started to age. So by the time he got to Canelo, and he remember what nobody talks about, he had to go up in weight,
Yeah,
regardless of
he pulled up to 168.
he pulled him up to 168, and people would say, you know, Triple G should have been moved up, but the reality is Triple G had no time to prepare for 168 in terms of getting acclimated to the weight after Canelo just been running through all these big guys. You know, who's to say if he had 2 fights at 168 that he wouldn't have done better?
True.
Triple G is nice, bro, and he's a little bit taller than Canelo. I don't know how much. I don't think he's that long, but he's taller.
I have a question about that too. Like, as you say, acclimated to weight. Do you think it would have been in Bud's best interest to go to 168 and take a fight at 168 and maybe figure out, like, okay, this is how the body reacts. This is how I feel while you know what I mean? How what's your thought on that?
You know, when I initially heard, that was my initial thought. I feel like that's common sense. That's what most people would think.
Yeah.
But as I continue to watch Bud more and more, actually, I'll stay there. Regardless of what the weight is, I think I would still agree that at least one fight, and it didn't even have to be at 168, bro. He could have took on somebody really physically strong at 160. And 160 isn't popping, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the Uzbeki dude, Adames, Janibek, Lara, and Branco, Adames, Carlos Adames. Who else? I'm missing a 4th champion because I know that belt was flip-flopping.
It went over my head too because I'm just like, No, I mean, Janibek is unified. Excuse me, Janibek is unified.
Janibek is unified. So I bring them up to say, even though the division isn't hot, those guys are all tough fights for Bud. But I guarantee you, if he even did a 12-round decision against any one of those 3 guys, there would be less talk about the weight, and people would even be talking about, oh, he should have took a fight in between, because those are hard fights.
Yeah, those
are all hard fights. All of those guys are bigger than Canelo. All of those guys could probably fight at 168. Well, except Erislandy Lara is hit or miss. Even Erislandy Lara is a hard fight, bro. I would pick Bud, but that's a hard fight. That's pretty much Bud's dimensions, but a guy who's been at 154 and 160 his whole career. You know, and great IQ, still very fast. So
left hand of death, Jesus, Lara.
Left hand of I would have never.
Are you retired or you don't come back? Because I see Janibek only calling out Carlos Adames like there's not another champion who got a belt.
Yeah, because I think everybody sees it, right? No matter how sharp Lara looks, a win against Lara, especially with him being so up and down with activity, I mean, it looks good, but it don't move the needle the same. And it's very risky. It's risky, Janibek, and it does for Janibek. He might as well.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, for a guy who needs a prolific fight or needs to bring the attention to that weight, because I think he's about maybe 1 or 2 fights before he goes to 168. Because everyone's kind of looking to see, like, all right, that guy ain't gonna hold all the belts forever. Like,
no, he's not.
Give him up. I'm up at 168. But build the buzz. Go collect 3 and then make the fight for Undisputed. Like, the market, you know what I mean?
But also, you could say the same thing for Adames, bro. But then again, I think Adames should be getting the short end of the stick, because
Adames is not putting himself with Turkey al-Sheikh again, because you just robbed me of a victory, bro. You called my fight a draw. The money was all messed up. I'm not putting myself back over there. So that way now, Janibek, a guy who you might not even like, I'm gonna have to knock him out to get a decision.
No, seriously. And that's the tough part, because, you know, Turkey, he be making it clear who his favorites are. But you know what's funny? One thing, I don't know if you saw that clip of what Andre Ward said, and it was pretty eye-opening to me, because I never think about it like that, is he said people keep making a big deal about how much weight Bud has to go up. But you have to bear in mind, as someone who's gone up in weight in my career, my coach told me one day, he said, you got to stop worrying about going up in weight. He said, how much do you weigh right now? And at the time, Andre was like maybe 2 months out of a fight. So he was still pretty fit. He was walking around maybe like 180, barely 180. And he was like, so the coach was like, yeah, okay. So he said, Why do you keep talking about going down in weight? We're fighting at 168 or whatever the fight, 175. I think that's when he fought Kovalev. And Andre looked at him and he was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, all we're doing is he said technically all we're doing is actually cutting less weight." And then he paused, and then Andre was like,
"If you think, yeah, it's the reverse mindset, correct?"
You see what I'm saying? So he reversed his mindset. So then Andre said to the interviewer, he said, "Bud walks around 170 something, 180." So in reality, Bud is not. He just doesn't have to cut weight. He's just gonna work out. He can lift as hard as he wants to. He can still be on his feet the same way, and the weight's just gonna drop, and he doesn't have to worry about doing all the extra stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
he can still wear a sweatsuit, but he don't gotta sleep in the sweat. I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean. He don't have to sleep in the sweatsuit.
He doesn't have to do as much to get down to the weight that he's fighting. But my thing is,
so now he's fighting at full strength.
What is the prep like when you cut that weight and you train your body to acclimate to that smaller weight?
You about to say it.
What does that do now that you're not cutting as much? Like, I know people say you're fresher because you have more weight on you, but
right. But is your heart
lost something? Yeah, could you have lost something?
Yeah.
Kill yourself to go make that weight? Now you man, pasta, pizza.
Yo, you got a good point. You got a good point, bro. I mean, but then you can say the argument to that is that now you have capacity to dig deeper in training because you don't have to stretch your mental capacity for simple things like getting through cutting the weight. So like, you know, if you say it the right way, anybody can argue to that point. So that's the tough part there. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
What's your prediction?
It's tight, bro. It's looking tight. You know, I think let's go. Okay. Let's go betting. Let's go my bet first.
All right. Safe bet?
Safe.
Or you putting the house on it? You putting the house on it?
They both risky bets because it just feels risky because I think I'm gonna shell out money on both options. 12 round for Bud.
Decision? Okay.
Yep. Or a knockout for Canelo. I know.
TKO is plus 380. Bud's TKO is 850.
But so here's the thing. I don't see a world, and I think Bud is amazing. I just don't see a world unless Canelo is shot. Because if Bud knocks Canelo out, I don't care what y'all say. We obviously have to see how the fight goes. Because if Canelo looks sharp and he gets clipped and he actually doesn't get up, then, you know, I don't know if I would say he's shot. I would say his chin is compromised for sure.
Yeah.
But if Bud obliterates him like how he did Spence, we would have to say Canelo shot. If Bud just shows what I think is capable of showing is the dog, the next level IQ, and just showing that he wants it more, that's how I think he's going to win. He's going to catch him clean with a lot of cool stuff, but he's going to have to grind it out 10, 11, 12. And because of the fact that I think he can throw more volume than Canelo, I think he can grind it out if he doesn't get clipped. If he gets clipped, the reason why I say Canelo for the KO is more of a TKO. I can see the referee coming in. Bud getting up. I can see Bud getting up each time, and eventually, if Bud looks too wobbly on the second or third time, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. I wouldn't be surprised. I just can't see Bud. I can't see Bud stopping Canelo, bro. And after I just watched Triple G, the 1 and 2, regardless if it's not the same person, I can't see it. And another thing somebody said is, no, go. Sorry.
No, Bivol too. I'm just saying, adding Bivol to the people that's hit Canelo with some flush shit, and he's just
yeah. And even though, you know, Bivol isn't a knockout artist at 175, nobody has ever said Bivol can't thump. And it sounded like he thumped. When he hit you, it looked like he thumped, but he's always on his toes. So, you know, how hard is the punch actually going to be? But he looked like he hit hard. Somebody else said something. When you watch Canelo, 147 pre-160 catch weights before 160. Look at his punch output. It's gone down since then, but somebody said something really bright as well, similar to Andre Ward. Mindset shift.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever think that Canelo's volume went down because he's going up in weight, IQ went up, fighting heavier guys, so he can't afford to punch at that same speed because he needs to conserve because everything needs to be hard. So how can you punch 100 punches a round at 70% against 200-pound men? No. Eddie Reynoso was like, we're going to punch 75 punches a round, just for the example, but we punching at 75% to 90% every time. Bivol the one who quoted, every punch Canelo hit with felt like it had power on it. You see what I'm saying? Versus Beterbiev, he's so strong, he just hits you and it hurt. And then he throws mustard on the ones. But Canelo, everything is heat, which is why he can throw 110 punches around. You see a different perspective. I didn't even think about that. People keep talking about Canelo getting old, he getting tired. Maybe that was just a strategy. If he's not worried about a 200-pound man, how much more punches do you think he can throw? Because you don't got to put the same mustard on it.
Based on what you just said, I now understand why I don't want to fight. Why I don't want to fight David Benavidez from Canelo's perspective.
Yes, 200-pound man with the volume of Zepeda.
75. I'm gonna be done. Boom.
Everything.
Mine doesn't set that type of fight.
And Benavidez is so fast that even with less power, everything is still stinging. It's so snappy. You just don't want to get hit. It's like it's too much, bro. Canelo's like, I can deal with it, but do I want to?
That perspective makes a lot of sense, though. That actually makes a lot of sense.
I wish we had more people in here because that blew my mind too. I can't even take credit for it, but it blew my mind.
Nah, don't worry. It's gonna be on the replay, man, and we're gonna cut it up into shorts. It's been doing fantastic. Like, it's got the people going because it's not divided. Like, it's not like this. But if you're Bud, you're Bud. If you're Canelo, you're heavy Canelo. And I wonder if when you started, was it one way, and have you switched your mindset based on, because, you know, we just start to get those listening ears and we start to hear things and we're like, you know, that changes our perspective based on everyone else's opinion. Like, for me, I can see Bud's skill set as far as his feet, his hands, his IQ being the difference maker in this fight, because I've seen it with Lara. I've seen it with other guys who've had tons of success against Canelo. Didn't get the decision, but had success. And
Austin Trout, he had a lot of good success too.
Till he got caught.
Yeah, he got caught. Stanky leg. His made his mohawk tilt sideways.
We all remember. But in my opinion, Bud is the reason. Bud should win this fight because of his skill set. But when I factor in who's been at the weight, who's been reigning, I can't see Canelo allowing a smaller guy to come up with his skill set, his mentality, and just erase. Because you think about it, Bud wins and Canelo's reign at 168 goes, okay. He was up there because he didn't fight nobody. Because he let this little guy come up and take what was his. He's defending his undisputed championship for the 5th time in this fight.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
That means he's been reigning, correct. He's been the reigning undisputed champion for this long. And if Bud comes up and takes that from him, it just tilts a little bit.
It does. It just a time now. It's not the end of the world because, once again, Bud is highly rated, but it'll just be a blemish on the record that, if we being honest, Canelo didn't need, bro. And like I said, and to answer your previous question, my bet hasn't changed.
Okay.
At the beginning, I didn't like it. I said Canelo. Right? As the fight gets closer, it's getting closer and closer for me now. And now, like I said, just so that I can see what happens with the bread, I'm gonna put a little extra bag on Crawford because, like I said, I can see, and it goes both ways. What happens when Canelo lands and Canelo knocks him down for the first time in his career, and Crawford gets back up, and then the next couple times Canelo hits him, now Crawford is a demon. What does Canelo say then? Because now now he's sitting there like, dang, this little dude took shots that had Berlanga speaking French instead of Spanish. You see what I'm saying? Had Berlanga going on a tour because he lost, banging his mitts every 38 seconds. So, so to me, that would do that. I could see that doing a lot for Canelo's psyche. But once again, having someone like Jaron Ennis, who, regardless of whether we know he would ever beat Bud or not, Jaron Ennis throws, to me, way more value. We can look at the stats. Not to me. Let's look at the stats. Yeah. I'm pretty sure punch for punch, Jaron throws more.
Yeah.
If that's what Canelo's dealing with in fight camp and he's handling himself well, he shouldn't get too flustered if he can't knock out Crawford, because once again, to your point, he hasn't knocked out his last how many opponents?
I would say
3 or 4.
I mean 4 or 5, but he's knocked down. Like he knocked down Jaime.
See, that's why me and you are here. Bro, he's knocked down everybody except Callum Smith. Hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Canelo has knocked down everyone since Triple G except Callum Smith. So all these people talking about Canelo's power isn't the same. He's not knocking anybody out. Okay. But this is the same guy who's pretty much my height and shorter. And William Scull. He's knocked down. Okay, perfect. So you got 2 guys out of, I mentioned 7 or so or 8. Most of these guys were 5'11" or taller, minus John Ryder. And Canelo knocked down, let's say, 70% of them, even if he couldn't knock them out at 5'8", coming up from starting his career at about 147. So he is still dangerous. I don't know why people even talk about that. Crawford's never been knocked down, but what happens when he gets laid out by a solid 168-pound man who's been knocking down 200-pound men? I'm sorry. I cannot see how he gets clipped straight and doesn't get dropped once in 12 rounds. Now, if you're telling me he doesn't get clipped straight,
there might be a bet knockdown between 1 and 12.
That is that was the third bet I was going to put. So that's the new thing I've been doing. That's an easy way to get a little extra money.
Yeah.
I just bet on a knockdown, and the last 2 ones I wouldn't get the fight, but I got a little $20-$30 from the knockdown. So
because if you know the fighter, it's part of his thing to go.
It's part of his thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna set that precedent, and then I'm gonna watch how you react based on how I fight now. I'm going to evaluate how you react to that knockdown. Do you come with more pressure? Are you gonna try?
I won solid money from Demetrius because of that. Nobody would ever bet on his KO, but he be knocking dudes down in those first 4 rounds. You better don't play with Demetrius.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 you. You know what I mean? So, it's a wonderful fight though. And as the the different channels are putting up the different highlights for both fighters, like I said, you could dissect their resumes, but in terms of what they are able to do, and some of the great stuff you cannot see, folks. People with trained eye, even some of these folks, you do not see it until the replay, and then you get to see the amazing skill of some of these guys.
Yeah, feet placement, how he got his feet in.
Everything.
The uppercut didn't just come because he knew he was going to duck his head. Nah, he creeped up to him and baited him. Oh, man, yo.
It's different level of skills, bro. Like it's just like I told you, different level of skills. It's just different levels, bro. And like I said, every time I see it, even working with people and realizing, like, damn, I'm teaching the most rudimentary version of what I saw like this past Saturday, so and sometimes you said it perfectly. Sometimes it's doing something with the intent of trying to bait someone. That's when you see these guys start to really play chess and not just go blow for blow. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo, I just shake my head, bro. Like I said, I be trying stuff all the time and I'm like, dang, I don't think I'll ever look like that. I'm being, you know what I'm saying? This is
repetition, bro. It's a
hard pill to swallow.
He's also seasoned because he didn't just fight one style. He's fought all styles.
Yes.
He's fought Europeans. He's fought blacks. He's fought Spanish. He's fought Mexicans. Puerto Ricans. What happens is the more you can download into your archive, the better you are when it's time to pull out what you need to.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen it, but the same thing can be said I don't like who. This is gonna sound crazy, but we know Canelo has a Terrence Crawford on his resume.
I know what you mean by that. Continue.
Who does Bud have?
Nobody, bro. That's what I'm saying. And if you think about just in boxing today, how many times have you watched a fighter and said, "Ooh, he reminds me of Canelo"? I count on my hand maybe twice. And usually it's a moment. I had a moment where I felt that way about Oscar Duarte.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was more so I think I was looking at him. He kind of looks like more white than Spanish. His build, him being, he's a good fighter, very strong. He can kind of get inside and does a thing where he kind of like looks like he's getting hit. When you slow it down, he don't really get hit. But once again, he would be he will be the Dollar Tree version and only in moments. And like I said, when I say that, this is no disrespect to Oscar. I just say
use Family Dollar, man. Use family because you're Family Dollar. Hey, he's a Family Dollar version.
Yeah, because I can see
sponsors.
I can see the Canelo fans already coming at me. Number one, for saying that about a fellow Mexican, but also the ones who are diehard, like Duarte's nowhere near. And I agree. Canelo's cohesive level of skill, no, I've never seen. But someone like Duarte, certain things that Virgil Ortiz does. But these are people who I think have taken bits of Canelo's game and tried to incorporate it. But someone who can stay in the pocket and proactively create offense while literally being in front of your face, it's going to sound crazy, but you talking about the Pernell Whittakers. You talking about Bam Rodriguez. You talking about Lomachenko in terms of being in your face and you still can't hit him. There's not many people. And even all of those guys I mentioned have a different style, but they're able to, and you see what I said, proactive, right? If you throw a punch, if I can anticipate it and I slip, I'm reacting to your punch. If I can throw a counter, that's a premeditated reaction. Still great. But if I slip before you think about throwing your punch, that is a proactive defensive move to bait you into doing something I want for my counter. That's Canelo, bro. Right. I just sit in that.
my thing with my new question, because as you was talking, I was thinking, and I was saying, how does this fight look to you? Like, how does it play out? Who wins? But like, what is this like? Does Bud box and move around for 12 rounds, and that's how he secures the victory? Or does Canelo stalk down Bud and puts him to the canvas? Like, how do you think this fight plays out in your mind?
Yo, it's so tough, man. This is where I need some more experience, some ring experience for this. But
Plant tried to move around for 12 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think that's it, because the problem with what Plant did is Plant was doing good, but he had a misconception of how good he thought he was doing. He thought, remember there was that point where he was like, oh, you didn't know I was this good. But he thought that his boxing gained Canelo's respect. Canelo already respected his boxing prowess. He should have did it the opposite. He should have came out and demanded Canelo's respect, which would have made the boxing easier. And then he could have had more spurts in the middle to use his legs to preserve his body and then go back and demand that respect again. So for me, I think Bud...
Interesting fight.
It's a very interesting fight. I think Bud is going to go out there, stand straight in the middle, and box or punch him, and then allow Canelo to land something clean and not as dangerous of a play. And when I say allow, that's me. I don't know if he's going to allow. I'm going to say allow because I can see him at a last minute maybe turning off. But Canelo going to catch him. But he's going to wait for that to gauge Canelo's speed, Canelo's power, and then he'll probably back off the gas and try to keep him at range and see how he does there. I think he's going to play in and out, but I doubt you will ever see him purposely be on the outskirts of the ring unless Canelo actually pushed him back. And even that, they've worked those angles off the ropes because Bud is really good off the ropes. I think he's going to try to spin him off to create more opportunities for offense. But once again, everything is very risky because you still have to risk Canelo because, like I said, if Bud is really going to fight him, he can't just on the ropes, does what he did, have some success, and get off and run, capitalize. Because also, you can't assume that they're going to give it to you. And that's never Bud's mantra. You see what I'm saying? So I can't see him bouncing off the ropes and then skirting around. No offense to Shakur, but I can see Shakur skirting around a little bit. Bud not going to do that. Bud going to spin Canelo, 2 steps out, take an angle, come back. Canelo's going to slip that joint, go forward. As soon as Bud thinks he's close to the ropes, he's angling out again. I'm telling you, bro. Because that's what I would do. I just know my...
Yeah, no.
That's what I would do if I had Bud.
What's happening is, as we're talking boxing, it's as if like there's a new love for the potential of what this fight can bring. And I pray and hope that this is not a dud. If it's a dud, I'm gonna be sick. Right, because we got 2 dogs. But from a technical standpoint, and people who love boxing and love the sweet science and the fundamentals, this is going to be a really intriguing fight. A fight 100%. That if you're a purist, you're gonna love it, and I think you're gonna love it even more because these 2 skill sets are going to be on 100% display. Because my mom, like, maybe he does box around, maybe he try to like him, or maybe not. He steps to him and is like, "This is my power." Feel like right. But in my mind, it's this is going to be a war. Like,
and we don't know. It's going to be a war, bro. Like I said, when I see Canelo. I don't think it's going to be like a Canelo Triple G, though. I think I'm trying to think about who had to fight in their fight against somebody who was really on their body. Honestly, it might be. I would say it would be closer to a Zepeda. Yeah, maybe. So let me tell you, this is who tell me.
Like he stalked him, like he tried to, because I can see trying to stalk down the smaller
100%, 100%. But I'm trying to give you a fight that I thought it would have looked like. I thought that the Ennis versus Stanionis was going to give us a lighter version of what this was supposed to be, because Stanionis is a similar build to Canelo. I mean, he's explosive, but I think he just got completely subdued by Duran, and he should have took a tune-up fight before fighting Duran. But I thought that was going to be the closest. Maybe Shakur Zepeda, but Zepeda has nothing like the IQ. Tell me what you got.
Damn. Okay. Figueroa, Cool Boy, 2?
Oh, yes. Except Cool Boy got way more power. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Cool Boy got way more power, and Canelo's not as sloppy as Figueroa. Figueroa is completely one-dimensional. You can't say Canelo's one-dimensional.
I know, but I was just trying to.
No, I'm with you. The pressure.
I had to fight him off me. He kept coming, but I had to block, punch, be aggressive, stop. Like, it's a kind of like mindset that you have to be in that type of fight where you want to get off what you want to get off, but that person is relentless and continues to.
You know who I would actually say you might be surprised by?
Go to me.
I would probably say Inoue versus Donaire, or Inoue versus Cool Boy, minus the knockout. Cool Boy is obviously Terrence, and Inoue would be Canelo. Wow. Think about how Inoue fights. Inoue walk people down, bro. He can bounce on his toes. That's the difference between him and Canelo. But I think Canelo actually has really good movement for someone who's flat-footed. You know what I'm saying? Upper body movement. And when you look at the fight at
his head off a lot,
when you look at the fight with Triple G, that was the best I saw Canelo move his feet. I ain't never seen Canelo take angles the way he did, so I know he's capable. But I would say Inoue, sharp defense, stays in the pocket 90% of the fight, and short punches. He'll stay in your chest. He can beat you to the body. He can catch you at distance. You thought Cool Boy had enough skills. You put money on the draw. Yeah. You know what? That's not a bad option. I can see them doing that just so they can force another fight, right?
No, because they're immovable force, thing object, and when they come back together, they're just going to freeze. Your camera clicked out, but I can still hear you.
You can still hear me? My fault. I'm just checking my work laptop. Still hear me?
Yeah. These two people, Canelo and Bud, share so much of the similar traits that they might just stall in the middle, where, you know what I mean? Like, what I want to do, you already know. What you want to do, I already know. Like, there might be this stalemate within the fight as opposed to this chess match.
Well, here's the only way I see this stalemate I'm referring to. A lot of these elite fights we've seen, they start off real slow because of that. But the last thing I just said, start off slow.
Yeah.
If they equally start off slow, we might see that. But once again, that is not Canelo's style, because he does that small gallop, which sometimes allows him to get caught on the way in when he brings his back foot forward instead of leading with his front foot. But when he does it properly, he does, I don't know if I can mimic it, but he does like a boom, 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 forward. Yeah. Like a small little gallop forward, leading with his front foot. That's Canelo's MO. He don't dash, if you notice. He only dash when he in range. So because of that way that he moves here, he doesn't fakes, he comes off to the side, he's gonna move forward so incrementally. Bud can't afford to allow it to be a stalemate. Because, like, I don't think it's possible, bro. Any fight that was a stalemate for Canelo, it was literally because, i.e. Skull, the dude was running around.
He threw some punches. He just, in his mind, in his mind, he thought he did more than he needed. I tell people this all the time. You're the challenger fighting a champion. You have to show, it has to be undeniable that you beat that guy.
Yeah, he took his foot off the gas too much.
All right, cool. The champion's going to take the thing. You like, bro, he said I won. That's not the majority. That's the minority.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie.
And that's what I'm saying about this Canelo fight too. Canelo has been the money. He's been the marketing. He has been like, you know, like how Floyd has 50-0. Yeah. Canelo has undisputed at 168. Hey, when you see me say Mr. 168 undisputed, moving forward. So that's what he has going for him. He's not going to relinquish that in the ring
against this little dude. Yeah.
So I got it. I wasn't undisputed at 160. This guy already been undisputed the other weights. You came up, you tried. Hey, you still undisputed over there.
Yeah.
You're still a champ at 140, undisputed at 147 and 140.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Canelo will still go down, at least for me. I don't care as long as Canelo don't get knocked out. I think he's still gonna go down as one of my favorite fighters of all time. That's me personally, and I would also say it doesn't completely blemish what he's done for the sport. And remember, the dude's the same age as us. Actually, he might be a year. He might be like a year older. Oh, see, so so you know, I'm not 35 yet, but pretty much. And
young kid, I wonder why you look so nice.
Yeah, you're crazy. But yeah. So I don't think it'll blemish it, but I also he's done so much for the sport. If I'm Canelo, Crawford is not the guy I want to lose to. I want to have a great fight with Crawford, but I want to beat him. I don't want it's messed up, but I don't want to easily beat him either. It's like I want to beat him, make it clear, so that I still get the credit. Because if it's too easy, unfortunately, no matter how amazing we think Bud is, no matter who Bud beats afterwards, everyone's gonna say the size, blah 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 blah. But if it's a fight like Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, look at Conor. Conor lost, and he's been getting nothing but praise, regardless of how you feel with the steroid allegation. I gave that kid nothing but praise. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the weight drain.
For going to what was it? 159?
160. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Conor Benn is actually, he might be smaller than me. AKA he's smaller than Canelo too. And he went up, and Chris Eubank might be, I think it's taller than, it's probably like 10's height. Like what, he like 5'11"?
Yeah, probably.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe a little bit shorter. But yeah,
I get what you mean, though. Respect on the fact that he attempted to do something out of the norm. So like we're gonna give him credit for stepping into, you know, into trying to be great. And we have a part 2 to that as well. So
exactly. So that when it comes to Canelo, as long as that fight is that captivating, maybe you can get a second one out of it. Just don't lose, because I would rather I think he would probably wouldn't rather any losing at all, but I'd rather lose to Benavidez than Bud Crawford. Benavidez, everybody's scared of. Benavidez, who's still undefeated. Benavidez, who might end up being a 3-weight champion if he goes to cruiser. That's the kind of kid that if I had to pass the torch to, but to pass the torch to a smaller, older guy, and then he go retire right after, and then the belts get scattered to a bunch of guys who we know Canelo could probably beat, I'd be sick. I would be sick. I would be sick.
Yo, William Scull, here's your championship. Here's your IBF. We drop it.
Regardless of how we feel about William Scull, that man is huge. And William Scull, it's an ugly fight, but I could see him being a problem for a lot of people because he ran. When he did get clipped because of his size, it didn't really faze him. And when he did let his offense go, even without the power, dude had some Cuban. He had some not great, but solid offensive moments that are pesky.
Yeah.
I don't see many people wanting to deal with that, bro.
Right.
So I can see
he's there.
I can see him getting a championship again, or at least being in a championship fight. True. Someone like Caleb Plant, that would be a great fight, but Caleb got to get his stuff together. Shiraz, I think Shiraz would beat him. Shiraz would probably knock him out because Shiraz is very big.
Yeah.
Shiraz would probably knock Skull out because that range Shiraz has.
Not playing around. I need to see Benavidez.
Shiraz, right?
Yeah.
Let the kid mature at 168. Let him feel good. 168 looks like he looks good at the weight. Let him mature.
He's not getting the winner. He's not getting the winner. Like get that idea. Get that Turkey a la Sheik mindset out of the way, bro. Stop with these developing fighters. I know that's why they want to create their own kind of league and stuff so they can give championships. Or fight for the PFS whatever belt. Like if
you're so crazy. The what?
Nah, because like there's you see like they have British belts, they have the American belt, and they have the universal belt. Like they have regional belts. Just start making regional belts. This is the Riyadh season gold belt.
I agree. Let them have a Riyadh champion. This is our champion of Riyadh season for 168. Wonderful. Let him fight a real champion.
Sanctioning bodies are like, how do we get a piece of that?
Yeah. I would rate that. I would rate that more because at least we get a chance to see fighters earn their stripes. Now, I'm not one of those people who don't rate Shiraz. I think Shiraz has a lot of promise. But I also think he needs to earn his stripes. How could Shiraz get an opportunity before Diego Pacheco? And people are talking about Diego, but they're not. But
forgot about Pacheco.
People forgetting about Pacheco. This kid is still undefeated, 80+% knockout ratio, and he's taller than Shiraz.
I don't think he had a good showing versus
recently, yeah.
Yeah, and
so that
you know how the curve works, bro.
Talk about him. I know.
When you get a tune-up, you need to out the park. And if you hear what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
How can Shiraz deserve that? Berlanga should have fought Pacheco. I don't see Berlanga beating Pacheco. I don't see what's his name beating Pacheco. I really look forward to see what happens with Mbili and Lester Martinez. Shiraz need to fight one of them two bulls. But the fact that he's there even talking about him and Canelo is egregious. Once again, the same way I feel about Italma. And mind you, Italma shows
more promise.
Special way more than Shiraz. So I get the conversation, but what did I say about Italma? I think you can put him in there, but give that man at least one or two more live dogs. Dillian White, but like a live Dillian White. Same tier, but a live dog. Some of the guys
who's competed, hasn't won a championship, but has been in
still looks good.
Championships.
And still looks good. And still looks good against good guys.
What about a Jermall?
168 is deep. So here's the thing. You know what's crazy, which we haven't spoken about? That might be another thing. Jermall, the Lion, Big Charlo, he could be a banana skin at 168. I gotta say that because even some of these commentators would mess up Jermall and Jermall.
Yeah.
Jermall, 160 champ,
Right.
he's huge. He's another one that he's just dense. And to me, the best jab in boxing, the most powerful jab in boxing, he'd be the banana skin at 168. I would put him up against anybody at 168. And that's just because of the jab.
Yeah.
That's the kind of jab that you can hit him with a 4-piece combination and you will not see the straight punch coming. And that'll completely disorient you as if he hit you with a right hand. With a jab like that, he's a problem for anybody.
Yeah. I mean, because
a good chin.
Active Jermall is a problem.
It's dangerous. Yeah.
So
active Jermall is a top 10 pound for pound fighter.
You kind of you need some guys hovering, because these two guys that are fighting, one thing that's not being talked about is that we might be seeing the end of greatness. What you mean, Ken?
Oh, Canelo and Crawford?
Bud Crawford's 38 years old. Canelo's 35, but he has about 75.
75, yeah.
No, he has a few in Mexico. That's not even on the box rec, bro.
Yeah. And mind you, here's a crazy part, which nobody has to talk about, but this is undercard and boxing, folks. We bring you different perspectives that these other channels don't bring. The fights Canelo had, even when he was whitewashing those dudes in Mexico, if you've never fought a Mexican, every time you get in with a Mexican, it's a dangerous night. So even if you come out unscathed, the training camp leading up to that. So regardless of people say Canelo fought a bunch of cab drivers, go fight the cab driver. You go fight the cab driver and tell me. That's what I'm saying. So even Canelo's road before we saw him on TV, we don't know how difficult it was. And he was fighting 7-8 times a year. Yeah. So even if he was knocking these dudes out, what was the training camps like? You know what I'm saying? That's how many
times did your body have to go through sparring and recovery and injury, and I think I hurt my hand, but can't cancel the fight because the fight you need to get paid, and the paid needs to.
I can't even wrap my head around it. That's why I always give these guys so much respect, bro. I shadow box for 20 minutes, mow the lawn, wash my car. I'm ready for a nap. I'm ready for a nap until the next day. And these dudes,
you just 20 minutes, you gotta add it up to 30, bro. You gotta.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody. He just.
I added the mowing the lawn. I mowed the lawn. I did a course of weeks. I washed the car. So good, good manly work, but ain't nothing like a bunch of training camps, bro. Yeah. And I'm sitting there saying, like, training camps? You know what I mean? So
what your body has to go through for that day and night for you to be where you need to be is grueling, bro. It's grueling. The road, the punches that you're taking, the physical that you're putting your body through, just so that way on one night, mind you, that can either last 30 plus minutes or that can last 3 minutes, depending on how great this training camp was and how not sharp your opponent is. Yeah. So that's the fun, but also the tough part. Like, you train years of training, months of training, like you said, and then the fights tense. Yeah, I mean, imagine doing all that training and get sparked out in the first round, and like the first 10 to 20 minutes off the round. Like, round started, ding. Like the Sinisi and Strada, her fastest knockout in the world is hilarious. She literally just got on the girl. Boop, fight over. I said, where did they go find this girl? ESPN, you got another one. My boy froze up. Then the internet, I'm just going to remove from the screen real quick. Put myself number 1. Her phone died. No problem. I mean, it's about that time. We usually give an hour here. I just wanted to thank everybody for watching. We had a lot of people watching today. Enjoy the content. We talk boxing. We dig and dive into different fights, into different things. We wanted to show you guys our perspective on how we view the fight, how we see it, what our mindset is, and then you give us your opinion, or in the comments after the live is streamed, We also have different places where you can reach us: Twitter, and YouTube and TikTok, excuse me, and YouTube. So whenever you guys have something to say, want to share a comment, want to engage, we don't mind. Just keep it adult friendly. Some of y'all people calling people illiterates in the chat. I'm like, damn, what did he say? Not much. I'm not part of these conversations, but sometimes when you share your thoughts, other people have theirs as well, and then the conversation just goes. But it's easier to have a conversation if we're being respectful of the person talking. And consistency is the key to all success. Salute to everybody that popped up. Thank you for joining the live. It means a lot. Trying to grow. I actually started my channel because of you, which I don't think I've ever said on a live stream, but you inspired me to go and get mines. Salute to everybody that popped up. Live Vibes and Bros in Boxing. Please go check that channel out as well. We're trying to grow that channel. Please like and subscribe to that channel. I'll put the description in my on my